Right, Shalom. First and foremost, we'll say Kalayim Loyal, Bashim Yashab, Bashim Harakakodash. The one to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, GMS, who do rule and teach well. Those men I learned this truth from, of course. Today I want to talk about the fiscus judaicus. This is something I wanted to hit on. I can't, but didn't really have the time. My phone was dying and everything, so I just closed out quickly. I was like, oh man, I gotta, get my ass back. It's not good to have like a dead phone on you. So just little mishaps happen. It's like, oh man, I thought my phone was charged more, and then you find out it's not. So little minor mistake there. So the fiscus judaicus or judaicus, which I think would be more like judaicus. There's no C. There was no C. It's K. So and there's no J. So it's judaicus, something like that. Was a tax imposed on Jews in the Roman Empire to destruction of Jerusalem and its temple in 70 AD. Revenues were directed to the temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus. The measure improved Rome's finances. Right, Edomites were still ruling at this time. Right, and then when we talk about like Edomites ruling, like Rome, you got like Daniel 7th chapter and stuff like that. That'll going all into that, and like Second Esdras 11, which I may go into like a scripture at Second Esdras 11, and I was thinking of another one. I think it was Psalm 55 is also what I was thinking of getting, which we'll get that a little bit later on. But those are just two things that I thought of while I was planning this. I didn't really write down a whole bunch of scriptures and just going off the spirit. So when I see it's like a good chance to go into it, I'll just go get the scriptures. Right, coin issued by Nerva, which Nerva was a Jake, reads Fisci Judici Calumnia Sublata, abolition of malicious prosecution in connection with the Jewish tax. Right, so he changed certain things. It'll kind of go into it, but it wasn't like all good for Jake, and that just paved the way for Rome, because even while Jake was ruling, they were still persecuting Christians. That stuff still went down. Jake on Jake crime. The tax measure improved Rome's finances and also worked as a deterrent against proselytizing. Those who paid the tax did not have to sacrifice to Roman gods. Right, and proselytizing means to make one like you, essentially. So like it guarded against Rome, pushing their Roman religion and ways on other people, but now you have to pay for our stuff, right? So pretty much this part is going to talk to pretty much. I'll read here. The text initially posed by Vespasian and Roman Emperor Vespasian as one of the measures against Jews as a result of the First Roman-Jewish War, or the First Jewish Revolt of AD 66 to 73, right? Let's go see what this is, right? First three major rebellions by Jews against the Roman Empire fought in Roman control of Judea, resulted in the destruction of Jewish towns, displacement of its people, and the appropriation of land for Roman military use, as well as the destruction of the Jewish temple and polity, right? Which happened, the whole thing was 70 AD. Even had Edomites join in there. Yeah, so you get the Sakari. And then, it goes in here, they fight against the taxes with Nero. But you got the Sakari in there. I believe the Sakari, the leader was trying to push himself as some sort of messiah, if I'm correct. I remember hearing about that. Against the Zealots. So, and you have the siege of Masada. So even though 70 AD already happened, you had the siege of Masada. There was a traitor as well. There was a traitor that sold them out. You could look it up for yourself, but there you go. The siege of Masada. I just wanted to, kind of calm some of this, See, Vespasian started it, and then Titus, one of his sons, he left to besiege Jerusalem in 70. We'll see which things see the same as AD, and all that stuff happened. You can go deeper into it on your own time. The tax imposed on all Jews throughout the empire, not just on those who took part in the revolt against Rome. The tax imposed the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 AD, in place of the levy or tithe payable by Jews towards the upkeep of the temple. The amount was levied was 2 denarii, equivalent to the 1/2 of a shekel that observant Jews had previously paid for the upkeep of the temple in Jerusalem. See, just another sign of us being taken down, And this year is just a symbol of, Edomite brutality. After you take down the nation, you siege the capital. Like, all right, well, now you need to pay for our temple. Well, your temple's all gone. You're gonna have to pay for ours now. The tax to go instead to the temple of Capitoline Jupiter, the major center of ancient Roman religion. Right, as we get, Capitoline Hill. I think as you get our stuff too. Call it like Capitol. I believe they call it Capitol Hill. I think that's what in America. Over here in the States, they call it Capitol Hill. So it's the same thing. Like, Capitolium was called back then, but now it's like Capitol Hill here in the States. The fiscus judaicus was humiliation for the Jews, right? And that's what Esau is all about, humiliating us. All right, so this is the book. I'll just get to the point. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, right? All Edomites will be exterminated when you get to like the 18th verse and stuff like that. Right, all of this is future prophecy. Esau is still around. He was still around during the time of the Romans. He ruled Rome, and even they were still, around us, Idumea, and stuff like that. And they even fought alongside us, but not, us as in like, us brothers, both elect back then, brothers that were disciples back then. We weren't getting ourselves involved with that bullshit. We were warned to leave. In Matthew 24, we dipped out. I mean, some of us got, caught up in there, of course, but, grabbed up. But we were warned to dip out. We knew. Right, and the day that on the other side, and the day the strangers carried away captives his forces, and foreigners into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem. Even now, was this one of them, right? And you see at the time of the siege of, siege by Babylon, a siege of Babylon. I probably edited that. I don't think I signed it to my account. So you got that one. What's it this? Psalm 58, not it's 55. It's the book of Psalm 58. It's really talking about the wicked of our people, but you can also apply it to, the wicked nowadays, which they've always been the wicked. And Malachi 1:4 will tell you that Esau, Edom, is the nation of wickedness. Psalms 58:2, right? That doesn't mean that you, like, every time you use wicked, like, you can't use it to apply to, like, our people and other nations. They're all wicked, and Esau's wicked. Esau's just the head wicked, Esau is like the king of wickedness, Just remember the stuff that they were doing to us back then, cutting their nuts off and putting them in jars, lynching our people, gang raping women, running trains on our women and stuff like that. This is stuff that they do. And then look what they've done while they've been in power, right? What do you have? You have rampant prostitution, a lack of order, feminine men, you have, rampant, I think I said rampant whoredom and stuff like that already. It's all bad. It's all bad. There's no order. It's all wickedness. Right? Yea, in heart you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. right? Your hands mean, their power, dominion, strength, power. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go estranged as soon as they be born, speaking lies. As soon as they're born, they're speaking lies. They're trying to say that they're all peace. In reality, they're about lying. The poison is the poison of an adder. They like the deaf adder that stoppeth their ear, right? The poison of their philosophies. So they like the deaf adder, like a snake stop your ear. That means, well, snakes, I don't think they have ears. I guess they have to be able to hear or sense stuff, but they're like an adder that ain't gonna listen to you, which will not hearken to the voice of the charmers, charming never so wisely, right? Now, if I'm correct, the charmers, hold on, this is one that I haven't gone into in a hot minute. There's something special about the charmers, I'm pretty sure. There we go. Yeah, Israelites on the streets, that's us. There you go. We charm with the truth. Esau is not created to listen. Right, he is the wicked. Right, so nothing you do will change this devil. Right? Break the teeth, O God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions. Oh, Lord. Right? That's all they do. They use their military might. They use their wickedness. The way violence, of their power in the earth. They measure it. It's like that word way out, make balance, revolve, ponder. So they ponder and prepare to make violence using their military might, and how to entirely fuck our people over, how to, jack Jake up. They sit around and they think about this stuff, right? The wicked, they cannot sleep except they cause some to fall, right? And how's the main reason they're gonna cause them to fall in this time is by making them take the MOTB, which is gonna bring about ultimate punishment, via ICBMs, which you can't repent from taking the MOTB, and you nations can't repent either way. And you Jakes, you're mentally blinded, you're asleep spiritually, so you're not gonna repent. So at the end of the day, you take it, you don't take it, it honestly doesn't really matter. Just the difference is, one of you will die with a chip in your head, and the other one won't. But you'll all be turned to, I don't know, an ash pile with only the Jordans left, which are Jordans and your snapback that you love so much, on the ground. That's the only thing that's going to be left of you. Alright. So I think I pretty much went to rest of the ad like a procurator. It was imposed on everyone. Woman, you see her age is 20 and 50. You see her 61-year-old woman only into the age of 62. The tax was pushed on people into that age. And basically, it was just used as a tool to fuck our people up, and still fuck them over even after 70 AD. So see, it just shows you the mercilessness of Esau, right? Even after 70 AD, which was a horrible, horrifying event, they still wanted to fuck our people over even more, and it was humiliation, and that's what Esau does. He uses that violence and he humiliates us. Look at all even to this day, just kind of pushing on the the modern day aspect. There's still houses of Edomites and stuff, and Jake's certain museums they able to get a hold of this stuff, but there's certain houses of Edomites. My brain is going too fast. So certain Edomite houses and stuff, they'll have artifacts and stuff from slavery and the Reconstruction era. Well, they'll just have straight vile racist white supremacist stuff in their house. I don't know, photos of you even see online the coon photos and stuff, I don't know, the one with the black baby and watermelon or some shit. They'll have vile shit, and it'll just be a bunch of photos, they'll have them in the house. And sometimes These Edomites, they'll call themselves having a little bit of humanity, and they'll give them away to like a museum, like a so-called Black History Museum, whatever. And that's supposedly their way of saying sorry, but you can't be forgiven for that, man. Like you're gonna suffer. You have to suffer. You have to go through the suffering now, right? Because like Solomon said, the place of judgment is here on the earth. So this is the place of judgment, and your judgment has to take place here, like here and now. There's no escape. You must suffer, and so on and so forth. And the scriptures talk about it. Isaiah 14. Pretty much like you get into the whole chapter. To be honest, just get into the whole thing. So Domitian, who between 81 and 96 AD, right? About Domitian, sons of Vespasian, and younger brother Titus. Right, there's something in what do you call it? In 2nd Edus 11. I think that Vespasian is basically Julius Caesar coming back, and I think Vespasian is supposed to be like Crassus, and I think Domitian is Pompey. When you go into it, it goes into that. Go look at a breakdown of 2nd Edus 11 and 12, but that's pretty much what it is. They came back as them, right? And now they're using their power to get on Jake. But it's interesting because I believe it was Pompey at the first who first put Judea under Roman occupation. Like that was the first siege of Jerusalem, and that was in 70 BC. And then it happened again in 70 AD. So very interesting, right? Both of those, right, included expanded the fiscus judaicus to include not only born Jews and commerce Judaism, right? Because you had plenty of those guys out there, Edomites, and we remember the Persians as well and stuff like that. And also those who concealed the fact that they were Jews or observe Jewish customs. Now, if you had those guys, roaming around the temple and whatever back then they went off, or they allowed these converts to like marry within the fold, and they were going off. He tells guys to kick rocks, be under us, but you're not gonna enter into our temple and somehow turn into Levites. Like, get up out of here, dude. And it's even in Ezekiel 44 and like I want to say 8 or 9 that talks about that, about the temple. And I just saw a video recently, on the GMS archive, and all the apostles were talking about what was it called, like prophecies, something, and secrets. Like I started running through those because I was like, I've never seen those videos. It's been a while since I watched the old videos, and when I did, I would usually look for like history videos and stuff like that. It was when I was younger, and I was watching a lot of the old videos, Younger in the Truth. I didn't really like watch the prophecy stuff. I was still kind of learning and getting into it, but I would always look at the history. But I'm getting like a little older. I'm like, all right, let's try to see if we could find some of these prophecy videos, because the more prophecy the better, because it all says the same thing, but the more that you can, pull from, and the more that is the better, because, it says the same thing, but it tells you different stuff, and certain scriptures will give you like more, and certain books are things special, that, will connect to like something you see in like Revelation, like Ezekiel 39 or something, like that, and you have to tie that in with like the 12 gates, and it all ties in like this perfect interweb of like knowledge. It's really spiritual though. Suetonius relates that when he was younger, spiritual in terms like understanding is spiritual, but that's all that stuff is really gonna happen now. Like us ruling over the nations and forcing them to clean up the Middle East, that's real. So don't clip this video and make it seem like I'm some sort of bug out or something, and that I'm not teaching the correct breakdown. Right, so pretty much the rest of this you don't really need to go into. And this is what's really interesting. Domitian's ruling opened the door to possibilities of blackmail in Rome and in all Italy. Charges of following Judaism were easily made but difficult to disprove. See how fucking brutal these people are, you know? Because the practices of certain philosophical sects resemble some Jewish customs, as a result, many people chose to settle the accusers out of court than risk the uncertainties of judicial hearings. Right, so the courts were biased against you. It's the same thing nowadays, thus effectively encouraging the blackmailers. Titus Flavius Clemens was put to death for living a Jewish life. You know that we had things like that already in this country for a long time. You know, the courts were biased against us. What was it? That escaped slave. Oh man, I can't remember his name, but I think it was in Boston. He was an escaped slave or something, and he was found to be free, and the courts basically spoke against him, and he got caught up anyway because like the fugitive laws. I think he went to a different state, and they dragged him back and put him right back in slavery. If I find it, I'll put it in the description box if I remember the one I remember. But yeah, that, and yeah, that whole story was Solomon Winthrop, and that story about that Jake who was basically free, and then he got, you know, put in slavery. And I believe that whole movie was 12 Years a Slave. That whole thing like actually happened, and he basically like a Edomite that he was working with before let him, you know, pretty much got him out. You know, as a result, many people, Titus Flavius Clemens was put to death for living a Jewish life or drifting into Jewish ways in the year 8095. I never really looked into this guy. I don't know if he's related to Jake or not. He could be Edomite, which may have been related to the administration of the fiscus judaicus under Domitian, right? So pretty much led open to more hell being put on our people, you know, in Rome and in all Italy, you know, and got our people jacked up. All right, so this is the book of Second 11:40, and the fourth came as the fourth beast. It became all the beasts that are past, right? All these other ones that were before, right? Which is pretty much, you know, the Greeks, and you know, took all those. Well, they didn't take all those lands, but you know, they took some of them. You know, they had rulership over, you know, much of the known world, that power over the world, right? The known world. And even expanded to greater heights. They even went up north and stuff like that to like Britannia. It's great filthiness and they'll compass the earth with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwell he upon the world with deceit. That's what he did, right? The world, right? Oh no, never mind. Power over the world with great filthiness. No, the Israelites under the Roman Empire, Slovakia. Not the known world, but over the world, right? Because you got the cosmos, the wicked reign started with Julius Caesar on 60 BC, ended with Domitian, the Domitian of the Flavian dynasty around 96 AD. Right, you have Vespasian and his two sons Titus and Domitian, and I believe they say that Domitian assassinated his brother Titus because Esau is brutal like that. They don't give a fuck. Like that, you know, goofy Yeet sign that you hear all the time. I don't give no fuck. That's Esau. Esau don't give no fuck. He just murdered people. He murdered his own brother. And he'll just kill everyone, man. You know. Even Isaiah 26, yeah, the word Duma, which Duma means silence or sleep, which is a spiritual name for Esau, which means death. Esau himself has a spiritual name which means death. He represents death and destruction. Even his skin, you know, wasted away is he. You know, his skin, he lacks melanin. He's wasted away. you know, and we can honestly go into like all kinds of stuff, man. These guys had to take so much fucking drugs and steroids to even equal Jake and anything, man. You know, and even then they still lose. So it's like, well, what the fuck is the point? You know, but you know, kind of, you know, we're not as strong as we used to be anyway. You know, there will be no debate if we were, you know, as we were in the days of the sons of Adam. Sons of Adam, sons of God, Adamites. And if we're in those days, then we would be, you know, there would be no comparison. But we're weaker now, and we're still better than them. You know, we still beat their ass. You know, at least until you get into like UFC and these, you know, Dagestanis and Russians, and be giving Jake a run for his money, because those Dagestani and them Russian Edomites, man, they came back from the nomadic tribes, you know, fighting Jake, you know, back in the day. You know, them dudes, you know what I mean? They live and breathe, you know, war, you know. It's all that shit that they're all about. Stuff like that, right? And they also follow Islam, so they have that wild man nature about them. For the earth has thou not judged with truth, right? They haven't. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, should the dwelling of them that brought forth fruit, and has cast on the walls such as did thee no harm, right? For into the children of Israel 70 AD, right? Yes, they did. You know, that hurts the peaceable, right? Because we had nothing to do with the Roman Empire. They came against us, right? Thus love liars, and even before then, we made a deal with Rome. I believe it was like a non-aggression pact. You can read about that in like Second Maccabees. We made a deal with Rome. You know, I don't think, if I'm correct, I haven't read the whole book of Maccabees. They didn't have to come in or do anything, but it was there. You know, it was there. As love liars, strip the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, right? Spiritual fruit, right? And has cast on the walls such as did he no harm, right? And that's what they did. They took down, you know, our houses, you know, walls. They fucked shit up, you know. And the only thing they left was like certain things that belonged to Herod, you know. But the temple they destroyed, they burned that down, and then they brought out this fiscus judaicus. You know, they said, all right, we took down your temple, we burned it to the ground, now you're gonna have to pay for our temple. You know, and this was after they took down 70 AD and had these long wars and battles with us. And then with 70 AD, they dragged off all the gold and silver items and things that we had in the temple and dragged it back to Rome and used that to help fund the Colosseums and all that, and dragged off our people and dragged them into the Colosseums too. You know, and that's why you even get those photos like Christians fighting lions and stuff like that, which, you know what happened to him. He got torn to pieces, man. You know, he got murked in there. You know, some Jakes survived in there, were all right. You know, and it was like eke out living and whatever in the gladiatorial arenas, but you know, people were getting fucked up in there. So that was pretty much it. The rest is pretty much about how, you know, they were going to lose their powers. And the ego is not talking about America, as we all know, right? Yeah. So you can get into this, and you can get into the 12th chapter as well. Honestly, read the whole book of Second Esdras. Very beautiful book. But when you edify, shalom.